Welcome to Right Life Draw. This will be part two of the inking of this character named Joel, who was actually a real person who came to this cafe years ago. Alright, so this is in media res, Latin for in the middle of the story, or in the middle of something, in the middle of a story happening, which is what's going on here. As in the previous video that I just filmed, I did. I'm going to do these very thickish reflections on his shades because he was wearing them at the time. Now I got to angle myself right here, get my hand in the right position. So this is just my sketchbook. And I am just inking a sketch that I done of this gentleman that was here visiting that day. He'd come a few times a week. I don't know whatever became of him. Alright, so here we go. Let me do this area here. Had to be, it was cast in shadow. I'm going to keep it that way just because it adds a certain allure of mystery to our friend here. Okay, there we go. And then, so where was I? Oh yeah, I should title this something like "No straight lines are needed when drawing the human body." And there's a problem obviously with the ear. There was in the original drawing, so this is going to be whitened out with white paint, which I don't have on me right now. I have some white out, but I think it's old. And it's going to leave too many bubbles on top of the page. Even though it's a sketchbook, I still try to do my best. That never really goes away. That's just built into me and who I am. Then we're going to define the inner shirt. Okay, there we go. I think the shirt went here. Excuse me, he was wearing a jacket. That didn't need to be there. That was like a button that didn't make sense. I draw these sketches really, really quick. It could still take me a few minutes, anywhere between 5-minute sketches to 15 minutes, depending of where I'm sketching and who I'm sketching at that. And how likely are they to notice that I'm sketching them? Or if I talk to them beforehand, if they're not getting antsy and wanting to move or leave the location or the spot where they're sitting at. That's the odd thing about, sketching in public. I recommend for people out there to just be careful. Don't make some of the mistakes that I've made. Maybe I should refrain. Let me rephrase that. I should retitle this. There's the channel for mistake-ridden artist. Don't do what he did. If you care to find out what those are, watch the channel. So yeah, this is, even his jacket had a certain versatility to it, utility and versatility, and it flowed. Let me see if I can do this in one fell swoop. Alright, since this is my channel about art tutorials and how I do what I do, so there is a lapse in, there's some spacings here, which I left like that in the original drawing, the original penciling. Let's start off with the hairline. Okay, we're going to use those lines to delineate the head down to the neck. And as we do that, this is a good pen to do this with. We're going to create... Alright, here we go. I stopped once, we're not going to stop again. Except there, and then I will continue again. I try to make a very long sweeping line so that I don't have to stop. And the pen, this pen, even if the point stops, it won't, the ink won't barrel down to the point and create a bubble of ink. So that's a plus. That's different than a dip pen, which is called a crow quill. Those will definitely do that if you stop at one point long enough, and that's not advisable. Now I do like my cursive line, so we're going to create a little bit of depth. We're going to come in here and do all this. And let's see what else. There we go. We're going to delineate that jacket. We're going to showcase it. Show the viewing eye where that jacket begins and where it ends. And a little bit of shadow there. Alright, here we go. I'm going to thicken that line towards the middle. Thin it at the end. Keep it thin. Thicken it. This is the time where you remind yourself this is just a sketchbook. It is okay to make mistakes, because that is what your sketchbook is for. Alright. So that was the inner shirt.